Al Capone is quite possibly the most notorious gangster of all time. Through various crimes such as extortion, murder, and robbery, he was able to create an enormous fortune and control the entire Chicago area. To understand Al Capone, however, we must first understand that the Roaring Twenties were a time of change. Al Capone capitalized on this change through the smuggling of illegal alcohol that was illegal due to the 18th Amendment that instated a prohibition. Al Capone's life, however, started in a very average manner. Al Capone's parents were both Italian immigrants who were living in Brooklyn. Al joined the notorious 5 Points gang at a very young age, committing petty crimes. He quickly realized that Chicago was a more profitable place to live and moved as a young adult. The current gang leader, John Torrio, and Capone had problems almost immediately. After a gang war resulting in over 200 casualties shortly after Capone's move, Torrio surrendered all of his territory to Capone, and Capone's reign of power began. Capone profited from illegal gambling and extortion. However, his largest source of income was liquor smuggling. At his peak, Capone was making over $60 million a year just in liquor. The liquor was transported to speakeasies or stores and homes that would serve liquor illegally at night. Al Capone had such a fortune that he was able to control the entire government in Cicero, a suburb of Chicago where Al Capone's operations were based. Al Capone's most famous crime is the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. He was able to have police line up the top gangsters in Chicago for arrest, at which point they were killed by Jack Machine Gun McGurn. Shortly after the massacre in 1929, Prohibition agent Elliot Ness began an investigation. He closed many of Capone's illegal operations, and in 1931, Al Capone was sentenced to 11 years in prison for tax evasion. Al served his time at Alcatraz Penitentiary in San Francisco, where he was a model prisoner. With the repeal of the 18th Amendment, Capone's crime syndicate was quickly diminishing, and when released in 1939, Al was lawful until 1947 when he died of a heart attack. Al Capone was a prevalent figure in the 1920s because he was in charge of the largest criminal organization of the time. He encouraged the culture of criminalism and alcoholism. Also, he brought organized crime to shocking new levels and paved the path for the current mafia. Speaking of the current mafia, a modern-day equivalent of Al Capone is John the Dapper Don Gotti. He was the leader of the Gambino crime family, one of New York's 5 mafia families from the early 90s up until 2002 when he was imprisoned and died soon thereafter of throat cancer. Gotti is similar to Capone because he was very flashy and well-liked. Also, he oversaw countless crimes, including the murder of a rude neighbor in a tub of acid over a simple argument.